The number to call is 855-4-SCHIFF, 855-4-SCHIFF. On hold now is Sean from Corpus Christi, Texas. Sean, welcome to the show.
Oh. Howdy. It's always a privilege to speak to you, Peter.
Well, thanks for calling in.
This Dodd-Frank Act, a new regulation that prohibits U.S. residents from trading over-the-counter precious metals, including gold and silver.
Well, does it actually prohibit it? Excuse me?
What was that?
Well, do we know that the Act actually prohibits it? Does it actually say you can't do it?
Well, see, that's one reason I'm calling you. I'm naive about this stuff, I have to admit. So I've been reading parts of the Act, and there's this one part where it says prohibits that this Dodd-Frank Act. It says prohibits any person from entering into or offering to enter into a transaction in any commodity with a person that is not an eligible contract participant or an eligible commercial entity or a leveraged or margin basis. Anyway, that's over my head. So
yeah, I think what that's doing is, in the over-the-counter market, when people are trading and you have an exchange facilitating a change between two unrelated parties, neither of which might fall into one of those categories. I think that is the problem. I think the government wants to make sure that one entity is somehow licensed and regulated, and maybe the over-the-counter trading was not. But anyway, I want to hang on for the break. We can finish up with your question or your topic after we come back from these commercial messages. You're listening to The Peter Schiff Show on SchiffRadio.com. Welcome back, everybody. It's Peter Schiff here at SchiffRadio.com, taking calls 855-4-SCHIFF. Online now is Sean from Corpus Christi, Texas. Sean, what was your question?
Well, my only concern is we own a jewelry store that buys and sells gold, obviously, but we buy gold from the public, scrap gold, whenever they want to get rid of gold. We're buying a lot of gold from the public right now. And I just want to know that this thing isn't going to affect us. It has nothing to do with us. And your common man, your common person who wants to buy or sell a coin, a gold coin here or there.
No,
that was my main focus, although I know this is probably much more elaborate. And also, let me just give you one more thing. According to the actual rule language, apparently it exempts the transaction if it results in actual delivery within 28 days. And so, but that would affect a whole bunch of market trades, I would think, because most don't take delivery in 20 days.
Yeah, well, I don't think it's going to, at least this particular bill right now doesn't affect you. The question is, down the line, might Congress do something, right, that it might affect you, right? That is this the camel's nose under the tent? Are they ultimately going to be cracking down? I do believe that more rules and regulations are going to come into the precious metals industry, both to correct the so-called wrongs, to protect the public from the firms that are overcharging, but also I think we're going to get the regulation because of money laundering or terrorism, or the idea that people are using gold and silver to operate underneath the IRS's radar, to operate in the underground economy as a way to evade taxes. So I think that we are going to get more rules and regulation in anybody who is involved in transacting in gold and silver. Is it going to get to the point where they ban it? That I don't know. But I certainly think that we're going to move in the direction of more control, more regulation, and more oversight, which will, certainly,
eventually,
certainly run up the cost.
So we're kind of speculating. Eventually, they might come out with some laws that will affect,
I don't think there's anything right. Yeah, I don't think there's anything right now in that bill that impacts you.
Okay. All right. Okay. Thanks a lot, Peter. I appreciate it.
Sure. Thanks for your call, and I understand your concern. A lot of people are jumping to some conclusions here based on that email. Anyway, I wanted to play another sound clip. This is again Chuck Schumer. I want to talk a little bit because I looked into this, the company Forex.com. I think that was the name that was getting out of the over-the-counter gold trading business. And really what happened is when they did Dodd-Frank, the regulators apparently, or at least what they said, is they wanted to clamp down on speculation because they blamed speculation for the financial crisis, although, of course, the reason there was so much speculation was because of the moral hazard created by the government itself. But what they're trying to do now is trying to limit the ability of people to trade on leverage, currencies, precious metals. So prior to this, there were a lot of companies that were allowing people to trade on the spot market, in the Forex markets, in the metals market, where you're not trading for physical delivery, but you are trading with highly leveraged positions where you do not put up 100% of the value of either the metals or the currencies. And the government is cracking down on that, and so a lot of the companies that were able to provide these services to investors are no longer providing the services or are going out of business entirely. And the net effect is that you're still able to speculate. You just have to do it through the futures markets, through the COMEX or through the large big banks, the too big to fail banks. They're still allowed to speculate. It's just that what these laws have done is made it difficult for smaller companies to compete and offer alternatives to the big banks or the major futures houses. So again, you have the effects of regulation to stifle competition, to drive smaller players out of the market, all to the benefit of the now too big to fail firms that are now benefiting from a lot of the problems that they did help create once they got all liquored up on the Federal Reserve's alcohol and backed by the backstops provided by the U.S. government. But now they get rewarded once again because the government responds to this crisis with punitive regulations that don't affect the big guys, that simply put the little guys out of business to the benefit of the big firms. Now, whether we will end up seeing more regulations that inhibits gold and silver, we'll see. As I said yesterday, I do believe that these regulations are coming in the physical precious metals market. I just don't know when or how severe, but I do believe that the government will try to impose new rules and regulations that will increase the cost and diminish the privacy surrounding people who are buying and selling physical precious metals. Anyway, let me go and take some phone calls. We haven't taken any yet today. On hold is John from New York. Welcome.